He's your baby. Hey all, it's Alirien, and welcome to our Beltane tarot readings for 2023. If you saw either of my Beltane videos from last year, you already know that Beltane, or Beltane, is based on Celtic tradition, and it marks the halfway point, give or take, between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. There's a continued time of growth, warmth, light, fertility, love, romance. It's often associated with the Fae and several other wonderful, wonderful concepts. For more information, you can go back and watch my video where I make my wreath for Beltane from last year. And there are plenty of resources and books that you can find all over the place online, in bookstores, what have you. I don't know if I have my own book on Beltane anywhere nearby, but I figured I'd try a slightly different layout. I'm in a different corner of the room. Yeah, we're gonna follow the same format as we normally do. 3 cards plus the bottom of the deck from our tarot deck, which this time we are using the Tales of the Mystical Cats Tarot. So all of the cards and all of the artwork involve kitty cats in various ways. For our oracle component, I will be pulling a single rune from this bag of runes. It's my first set of runes that I bought, and looking for the meanings out of Book of Runes by Ralph H Blum. His book came with this set of runes, so that is basically how we're going to run this. Beginning of May, 1st of May being Beltane, is in the middle of Taurus season, so we will be starting with Taurus and ending with Aries. And all of these readings are intended to cover the span of time between Beltane on the 1st of May and summer solstice, or midsummer, which is right around the 21st of June. There will be chapters below to let you know which of the sun signs is where along the timeline, but I do encourage you to watch through the whole thing. I encourage you to take what resonates, even if a reading is not technically aligned with your sun sign, or if you don't know anything about your zodiacs or your birth chart. The reading that you feel most drawn to and seems to speak most closely to your own situation is the one that is intended for you, in spite of all else. That said, let's go ahead and shuffle the cards, shake the rune bag, and we'll get started with Taurus. Three cards, and preferably only 3 cards. We got 4. Alright, Taurus has, for their bottom card for Beltane, inverted strength. In your main spread, you did have an extra card jump out. It's okay, we usually roll with that. Inverted 4 of sky, the world upright, the inverted wheel, and the upright moon. And your rune that you have pulled is Yera, or harvest. Strength being the bottom card, and your greater context here points to some sort of faltering of your strength and your confidence, Taurus. Sometimes we are our biggest obstacle, and I think in some way you've gotten in your own way lately. You're setting yourself up to be stuck like that. And you need to remember that every obstacle and every challenge that life throws at you is something that you can overcome. Would not be faced with it if you could not overcome it. And you need to own up to any decisions and actions you've taken along the way that may have gotten you into this situation to begin with. Reconnect with your personal strength, however deep you need to dive within yourself to find it. And remember that you are capable and you are responsible for your own success and your own path, more so than you've been owning up to lately. The inverted 4 of sky points to withdrawal from your surroundings, from those around you, from your situation. I think perhaps because of the situation you've gotten yourself in, you've tried to pull away from it and just ignore it. Hope that it will resolve itself on its own without you having to make any particular decision or do anything you don't like, and that's simply not the case. Nothing is going to happen until you act on this situation, Taurus. Nothing's going to change until you choose to take that step. And don't be afraid to talk to other people. Let them know what's been going on. The upright world usually is a positive note. In spite of how you've been feeling, things are actually coming together really well. The world in general is a symbol of completion. It marks the end of one journey and the beginning of the next, because everything is cyclical. In spite of your difficulty, it seems you may have sort of a situation of the dark before the dawn. Things feel rough and you're on the cusp of just giving up and walking away or ignoring it or putting it off, when in fact you could not be closer to the end, and that's why things have gotten difficult. It is hardest to keep going just before you cross that finish line. The hardest steps are the last ones to that finish line. Do not despair at how hard things have been, because you're almost to the end of this path. And then you can take a break, and then you can start on something new. So have faith. The inverted wheel simply reinforces the meaning of the upright world, and that there are things out of sight for you and beyond your control that are moving in ways that you may not ever understand. But know that things are always changing. Luck, fate, whatever you may call it, you need to focus on doing the best you can in any scenario with what you have and what you know. And if you still find yourself lacking, figure out how to overcome that lack or fill that gap before you try to move forward. The moon is usually illusion. All is not immediately known under the moon as it waxes and wanes. Allow some time for more to be revealed. Do not trust everything you see at face value. Be wary of secrecy, mystery, and anything not obvious. Trust your intuition. This last bit of your journey is not going to be easy by any stretch, and there will continue to be things that are beyond your knowledge for whatever reason. So you are urged to take your time. While yes, you need to start moving again, you don't need to do the exact opposite of your current situation. You've not been doing anything. Don't suddenly go full force and run yourself into a brick wall. The rune that we've pulled is Harvest, and I think it's going to bolster particularly the world here. It is a rune of beneficial outcomes and applies to any activity or endeavor to which you are committed. No quick result can be expected. A span of time is usually involved. You have prepared the ground and planted the seed. Now you must cultivate with care. If this is a longer period of labor, this is a sign of encouragement of your success. Know that the outcome is assured as long as you persevere. And this is a rune that has no reversal. Your success and the fruits of your work, the end of this path, this journey, is assured. You are going to get there. You just need to remind yourself that you are fully capable of reaching what you've set out to do, and keep eyes and ears out for the truth surrounding the matter rather than just your face perceptions of things. And talk to other people around you. Stop trying to pull away from problems and ignore them. Take the steps that need to be done and take your time. Gemini, your bottom card is the inverted Earth Kitten. You've also pulled the upright Sun, the upright Four of Fire, and the inverted Three of Sea. Your rune is Perth, which stands for initiation, something hidden, or a secret matter. The bottom card, being the inverted Earth Kitten, points to insecurity and hesitation of some kind. You're concerned about food or money or shelter or something along those lines. Maybe even just time and energy. You're not sure you have enough time or enough energy to move forward on whatever situation this is. You should know, though, that you're actually in a really good spot right now, Gemini. You do have the upright Sun, which points to a time of happiness and bliss and rest. Things are looking really, really good. There is not as much need to worry as you seem to think. Based on the other cards that are here, I think from a material resource and security standpoint, you're fine. There is nothing to worry about in that regard. I think the things that are lacking are in spiritual and emotional contexts. Try to let yourself relax and enjoy this period of respite that you have. You do, from the Four of Fire, have a call to be a little bit more in touch with the spiritual, with the metaphysical in some way. You need to let yourself wonder and let yourself revel in the beauty and the magic of the world at large. And if you have some sort of a spiritual practice, you are urged to make more time to engage with it. If you don't have a spiritual practice at this time, it may be time to consider finding one. But you need to do something for your soul, whatever that may be for yourself. The inverted 3 of C indicates a disparate nature of relationships or friendships. It seems that you and your nuclear group, everybody's been so focused on their own situations and in going in different directions. There's a disconnect that is starting to develop. Meaningful connection is starting to fall away for the sake of superficial and very, very base communication. So you are urged to be wary of any friendships that feel like they are starting to weaken and drift apart. Do what you can to try to reinvigorate those friendships. Try to get your friends together to just hang out for the sake of hanging out and just not worry about worldly issues for a while. Just exist with your friends and be happy to be with each other, you know, or your family, whatever it may be. So, the rune Perth is initiation or something hidden in some way. It's often associated with the phoenix or with heaven in some way, that which is beyond our mundane understanding. Powerful forces of change that you have yet to see or know are happening here. You may experience some sort of surprise in your, based on its meanings and associations. I believe that Perth is reinforcing the 4 of Fire card more so than anything else. Honestly, I think that the Sun and the 4 of Fire are tied to each other. I think it is further emphasizing that you need to do something to reinvigorate yourself spiritually. I think you need to take some time to reflect inward, whatever it is that you do for your soul and for your spiritual well-being. You need to engage with that and you need to reconnect with it. We are not just physical beings, at least not in my opinion, and we need to take care of ourselves in ways that don't just aid our physical well-being. Reconnect with spirit, reconnect with friends, take some time to just enjoy this period of rest and happiness that you can have before you finally take those steps forward, because the things you have been worrying about are perfectly fine. Cancer has pulled as your bottom card the upright sun, and your main spread consists of the inverted death, 10 of fire, the upright chariot, and the inverted 10 of earth. And your rune is Rido or journey in reverse. This is also a rune of communication, union, or reunion. The sun upright, like with part of Gemini's reading, indicates a time of happiness and rest and respite, new hope, new beginnings, something along those lines. It is a good time for you, Cancer, but I sense that you're not making the best of this. In some way, you maybe feel like you haven't earned this point. You're not making the best of this moment. Inverted Death says that you are holding on to something or in some way resisting a change or a transition. You could be lingering too much on old thoughts, on things that went wrong in the past. You could simply have readopted old negative habits or thought patterns of some kind, but in some way you are resisting or stunting, that's the word I meant, some kind of change or transition from where you were to where you need to be. The 10 of fire shows that in some way you've either taken on too much burden or you are burned out in some way. You're overwhelmed, and you've probably done it to yourself. You've tried to multitask too many things at once, or you worked too hard without taking breaks. The Chariot reminds you that your life is in your control and under your power, but you need to actually do things to affect any change in that. You need to take action. You need to take the steps. You need to move forward. It's not just going to happen for you. You need to do the do. The inverted 10 of earth warns against being stuck in your comfort zone and becoming complacent. What lies beyond is unknown, and the unknown can be scary. Not knowing where we're going can be scary. However, you have to get uncomfortable in order to get comfortable again, and you have to get out of your comfort zone in order to grow and move forward and become better. What needs to happen is taking advantage of this happy and relaxed time to figure out what it is you're holding on to and why you're resisting moving forward. What are you afraid of? I promise that the benefit far outweighs the risk. You need to let go of what is past, learn all the lessons that are left to learn, and let go of the rest and move on. You need to take care of yourself, and you can test your limits, but you really should try to avoid taking on too much. Do one new thing with each journey or each project, one new challenge each time. Remember that you ultimately have the power to make the changes and the steps to move forward and achieve your goals. And don't be afraid of getting out of your comfort zone. Now, as far as the rune is concerned, it is a rune of communication, and in reverse, it draws particular attention to personal relationships. Breakdowns in communication between yourself and those you love are more likely right now, and you're gonna need to put in work to keep yourself centered and balanced and reasonable in that communication, and put in work in order to maintain a good relationship in spite of any poor communication. I think I saw somewhere that Mercury is in retrograde again, so that's not helping things. Also remember that while you can't always choose what happens to you, you can control your response to things, and there is a difference between a reaction and a response. Try not to just react on gut instinct, because that is when we can often end up hurting others or ourselves. Take in things as they happen and try to take time to craft a proper response. Figure out what you're holding on to, learn to let go, and start making progress to get out of your comfort zone and move forward again. Leo has pulled for the bottom card, Good Kitty, which is Judgment. Your main spread consists of upright 3 of Sky, upright 5 of Sea, and the inverted Priest. Your rune is Answers or Signals upright. This is also the rune of messages or a messenger, and is often associated with the god Loki. Good Kitty urges you to reflect on your past actions and words to yourself and others. Reflect on them honestly about your mistakes, your shortcomings, how you've treated others. Be honest with yourself about what you've done well and what was good. Be honest with yourself about what you did poorly and what was not good. Don't judge yourself in a harsh way. You should be kind to yourself, but you need to recognize and take responsibility for everything you've done and said to yourself and others. Forgive yourself for the shortcomings and the missteps and the mistakes, and let go of those negative things in your past to move forward. You should also take stock of everything that you've done well and be proud of those things. Let that pride and let that sense of accomplishment help drive you forward to new things. 3 of Sky and Inverted Priest kind of go hand in hand here. They both seem to warn you against forgoing your personal beliefs and standards and morals for the sake of companionship. Don't let go of the things that you hold important for the sake of friendship or maintaining family bonds or for the sake of love. Someone who truly loves you and cares about you will love you in spite of your beliefs. People who love you and care about you will not have caveats and will not force you to forego your values for the sake of being their friend or their family. Real friends and family don't judge you for your beliefs and your morals. The 3 of Sky also says that you should not allow yourself to be drawn into petty squabbles and drama. You are better than that. You don't need that sort of nonsense in your life. So you should not get involved and you should not seek it out. The 5 of Sea recognizes that you recently had something that seemed really good fall through, some sort of major setback or otherwise a rejection, and it reminds you that this does not mark the end of your story. You have more yet to do and more yet to experience and to receive. You should pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and trudge forward again. The Inverted Priest, like with 3 of Sky, as I said, warns you against forgoing your personal values for the sake of friends. It also warns you not to try to force your opinions or beliefs onto other people, just like they should not try to force their beliefs or opinions onto you. It also cautions you to be wary of the difference between, I'll just read you the word for word thing here. Don't confuse the trappings of religion for a true religious experience. Look for deeper meaning and reject those who oppose the exploration of truth. Look for the deeper meaning and the truth of all matters and all experiences. Don't take things at face value, because often something will be dressed up to look like silk, and really it's just polyester. That's probably the best analogy I can make. You need some time to reflect, and you need to be wary of how you're interacting with others and what you're letting yourself be drawn into, and you need to remember that this setback you've experienced in the 5 of C is not the end. There is bigger and better and more lying ahead of you. This just wasn't the right way to get there, unfortunately. Our rune, in short, is receiving. Some sort of message or gift in some way, in some form, is on its way to you. It could be a warning, but it is a message all the same. Be particularly aware in meetings, visits, chance encounters, especially with anyone that you consider to be wiser than yourself. You are also urged to explore the depths and foundations of life and of spirit, and you are reminded not to let yourself start trying to pour from an empty cup. Take care of yourself, Leo. You can keep going. Virgo, you have drawn for the bottom card the Upright Hermit, and your main spread is the inverted 7 of Sky, the Ace of Sea, the 8 of Fire, and Good Kitty. Your rune is Manaz, or the Self, Upright. The Upright Hermit, being your main underlying context here, urges you to go within and be content with a bit of solitude and take time for some introspection and self-reflection. Look within yourself for wisdom to move forward with things. That said, the inverted 7 of Sky hints that you may have done some things that were kind of questionable or unethical in some way recently. Now is the time to make amends for whatever it was. You need to apologize, you need to repay, whatever the deal is, you need to set it right. And you also need to know that if this has been something that's been ongoing and has been happening for a long time, it's gonna take just as much time, if not more, for whoever you've wronged to start to trust you again, if this person ever does. In contrast to that, the Ace of Sea does assure you of good things ahead of you: friendship, love, happiness, great emotional gifts that lie on the horizon for you. You simply need to be open and ready to receiving these things. Understand that no matter what you've done that is questionable or that others might judge you for, you are still just as deserving of love and respect and companionship in whatever form as anybody else on this planet. Listen to your heart, be open to receiving. The 8 of Fire hints at some restlessness, and it may be connected to the inverted 7 of Sky, or there may be some sort of intuition you've had in your brain of something that needs to be done, and you're really feeling this urgency to do it. You are urged to follow this impulse, follow that energy, and take advantage of it. You're restless about something, and there's just something on your mind that needs to be done now. Do it. Follow that impulse. Do it while you're thinking about it, and let that energy take you wherever it leads. Good Kitty, like with Leo, is reminding you to take time, much with the Hermit and 7 of Sky, honestly. Reflect on everything you've done and said to yourself and to others. Be honest and responsible about the things you've done that were not so okay, and forgive yourself. Be willing to forgive yourself for those actions. It was in the past, and whatever your intention was, whatever your reasoning for doing it, it's happened now. There's no changing that. Forgive yourself, learn what needs to be learned, let go of the rest, and move on. With that, though, you need to take stock of all the things that you need to be happy and proud of, and let those things and the feelings that they evoke propel you forward into better things. All of this boils down to, and especially with the rune having been the Self, now for Virgo is a fantastic time for reflection. Apologize to others who were hurt, apologize to yourself, forgive yourself for those things, and do your best to move forward, because you are a different person. You have learned, you have grown, and you're going to continue to grow. The Manaz rune, as I said, is the Self, and it ties in perfectly with this. Clarity and a willingness to change is what will be effective right now. And you need to have a good relationship with yourself in order to ever have a good relationship with anyone else. So just further bolstering that, some self-reflection and some self-forgiveness is at hand here, regardless of how others feel if they were involved in any of this. Oftentimes, the person that we need to apologize to is ourselves. We've been doubting ourselves or just not taking care of our basic needs, whatever it may be. You need to be honest, you need to be modest. This is a time of growth, rectification that must happen before progress can occur any further. It really is just further doubling down on the Hermit and everything else here. Virgo needs to reflect and learn and let go so that you can move forward beyond this period of reflection. Libra has drawn inverted strength as the bottom card, Earth Tom, Sky King, and Fire King. Your rune is Soelu, which is wholeness, life force, or the sun. This entire reading for Libra is meant to be an ego boost. You are, for all intents and purposes, being reminded just how capable you are of reaching your goals, as long as you focus on them and devote steady energy and time to them. Inverted strength reminds you to take responsibility for your decisions and your actions, and be reminded that you have the strength to overcome any obstacle that is in your way, including those which you yourself cause. As I said with Taurus, when they likewise drew strength in the same position, we are often our own biggest obstacle. Recognizing when we are being our own obstacle and overcoming that moment is often one of the hardest things to do. But even this you can do, Libra. Earth Tom indicates that steady work and perseverance and dedication to your goals will help to get you there. No matter how close or far you are to a goal, steadily working toward it will build a foundation, and continuing to hone the skills and the knowledge that you need to achieve that goal will ensure your success and your prosperity. Sky King indicates that your knowledge and experience has granted you impeccable wisdom to understand the truth of matters and advise others without becoming too emotionally involved in the situation. It does warn you to be careful of avoiding involving the heart and emotion in your advice, however. Many people won't listen if the emotions of a situation aren't considered. Fire King urges you to be proud and take hold of the power that you have. It is greater than you probably realize. Others recognize in you the capability to be an incredible leader, and you are fantastic at inspiring others to confidence. Anything you undertake, especially at this time, will be accomplished as long as you focus your energy wholly on it, and all of your energy on it. We do also have the rune Soelu, which represents wholeness, that which our nature requires. It embodies the impulse towards self-realization and indicates the path you must follow, not from ulterior motive, but from the core of yourself. We all in our lives seek to be whole, whatever that might mean, even though it's kind of paradoxical because you are seeking to become what you already are. You're not seeking to become anything, you are actually seeking to realize your truest nature and realize and understand yourself fully and wholly, good and bad, light and dark, whatever qualities you might have. This rune marks a time for regeneration. It warns you not to withdraw or retreat from any pressing situations and anything that gets a little too hard, especially if the situation or the people involved need you and need your help more than anything else. There is a time for retreat, and we have to know when to pick our battles and when to hold off. There is a balance. Know yourself as fully as you can and accept yourself as fully as you can. All of it makes you, and you would not be you without any of those aspects. But ultimately, Libra, remember that you are fully capable of reaching your own goals and leading others to reach theirs. Scorpio has drawn as the bottom card the 8 of C upright. Your main spread is the inverted Fire Tom, the Fire Queen, and the 7 of C. For the rune, you have pulled Rido or communication or journey in its upright position. The Eight of Sea, like with one of the other readings, indicates that you have let your essential needs fall to the wayside for some reason. You're not properly taking care of yourself, and you're at risk of isolating yourself too much and pulling too far from the people that you love and who love you because you're afraid of being vulnerable. People who truly care are not going to judge you for taking care of yourself and for being vulnerable every now and then. And there is strength in opening up and allowing ourselves to show our vulnerable sides to those that we most trust. Yes, being vulnerable does open us up to being hurt, but you learn who your real friends and companions are when you do so. The inverted fire Tom does warn you, whatever situation you're dealing with, Scorpio, you need to pull back a little bit and fully assess it before you continue to act, because if you react too hastily, you're going to end up burning yourself. You need to take some time to think about it rationally and perhaps even seek out advice from other people before you do anything else. The Fire Queen urges you to think about what it is that you are most passionate about and bring some focus back to that. Maybe even focus only on that passion for a little bit, because when we are engaged with our passions, there's a certain light that fills us beyond our brim. We all but quite literally will glow with enthusiasm, and that in turn can inspire others to do the same. You are meant right now, Scorpio, to rediscover your muse and follow her so that you might be a muse for other people to do the same. The Seven of Sea warns you against being stuck in a dreaming position for too long. You've been so focused on dreaming about and talking about and daydreaming of your goals and where you want to be that you've forgotten to actually make enough of a difference to get to those goals. Those dreams will always remain out of reach if you never act on them. Pull your head out of the clouds just enough to look at the situation, think about it rationally, make plans, and take care of yourself, because like how constantly dreaming about goals is never enough to reach them, if we don't take enough care of ourselves in the process, we'll always be too tired and never healthy enough to reach those goals. So find your muse again, take care of yourself, talk to others, and start making the changes and the plans to reach your goals instead of just thinking about them. So Rido, the rune of journey and communication and union, is further urging you that you need to take care of yourself and be one with yourself. You need to take care of those basic needs, and you need to look within for what it is that most inspires you, what is your greatest passion, and follow that. It is reinforcing what the cards have already stated. Take care of yourself and take your time and focus as much as you can on those passions to move you forward. Sagittarius has pulled as the bottom card the Tower, and your main spread consists of 10 of fire, 3 of fire, the cat, which is the Fool, and the inverted sea kitten. The rune you've pulled is Hagalaz, which is disruption or hail. The Tower and the rune both fully emphasize that you are about to go through a serious test, Sagittarius. Both of these are upheaval, disruption, sudden, inevitable change. Your focus through this change needs to be navigating it with as much tact and grace as you can, and you need to be ready for how this might affect you. Normally, the Tower represents the kind of change that tests our pride, our confidence, our resourcefulness. It can be a serious blow to our ego when it happens, and you need to put your ego aside in order to persevere and rebuild your confidence if it is shaken, and figure out how to continue forward with what you have left after the dust settles. As part of navigating this, I think the Tower refers to some situation in which you are overwhelmed. There's a very volatile situation that is probably about to blow. You are best served to take a step back from it while you can. Fingers in too many pies, as it were. Something in some way is overwhelming you, and this is evident emotionally as well with the inverted sea kitten. You're tired, you're worn out, you're doing too much, and emotionally you're exhausted and you're breaking, and I think you're on the brink of falling apart if you don't take this step back. Whether or not you step back, the Tower may still act. It's going, whatever change, whatever break the Tower and Hagalaz are pointing to is still going to happen. You just need to be prepared to navigate things as it happens. There is something new and bright on the other side, however. Three of Fire and the Cat both point to some kind of a new beginning. I think this Tower is going to be a sudden and uncomfortable end to something that you might not want to let go of, or that you know you need to let go of, but you haven't quite figured out how to. The Tower and Hagalaz are helping you let go, however uncomfortably they do it. The Three of Fire says it is time to get out of your comfort zone and start forward on your journey toward your goal, whatever that might be. You have to get uncomfortable in order to get comfortable again. Don't be so afraid of the unknown that you never take the first step. The Cat, likewise, is the Fool. It is the bright-eyed, bushy-tailed beginner. It's a leap of faith. Be ready for the Tower to fall. Pick yourself up after the dust settles. Take stock of everything you have to work with, and be brave enough and confident enough to move forward again. Capricorn has drawn the Fire Tom as the bottom card. Your main spread is the Earth King, Grace, the Tower, and the Seven of Sea. Your rune is Wunjo, which is joy or light in the upright position. Capricorn, you have some similar notes to your reading as Sagittarius before you. I think this is going to be particularly relevant for anyone who has both signs somewhere in their chart. Fire Tom, as the main theme of your reading as the bottom card, indicates a need for courage and boldness and swift and direct action to move you forward. You need to be able to trust in your skill and your knowledge that you've earned up to this point to carry you through your current situation and what lies ahead. It also reminds you that thought alone is not going to achieve your goals. You need to act in order to manifest them. Seven of Sea likewise says similar as far as the you can't just dream about it, you gotta do it, and very much like Sagittarius, the exact same notes here. You cannot spend your whole life dreaming about what you want. You need to make the changes and do the things to actually bring about what it is that you want and need in this world. Earth King is a card of stability and security. Wants you to take stock of all of your material security, where you are financially and within everything that you want and need physically in the world. Others rely on you for your practicality and your stability, and in order to provide a little bit of that for them. As I said, it wants you to take a bit of stock of your material security in order to ensure your continued prosperity. Consider if you have enough to maybe help out some others around you that are struggling a little bit. If you have the wiggle room for it. If you don't have the wiggle room for it, it's okay to sit back and make sure that you have enough for yourself and enough in case of emergencies. And then once you have a bit of wiggle room from that, you can start helping others as well. You'll probably find some satisfaction in that helping others when you're able to, whether it's at home, at work, in some sort of community endeavor, whatever it is. Grace is this deck's version of the Temperance card. It urges you to maintain balance and grace and poise as you navigate things right now, and try to be as adaptable as you can to situations as they shift. Nothing ever goes according to plan, ever, ever, ever in this world. So while it's important to have a plan so that you're not constantly making it up as you go, you need to be able to adapt to things as they change and as they happen. All of this will be important because you, like Sagittarius, have the Tower. Now, the Tower is not the main focus for you right now. Just know that some kind of significant upheaval of how your world works is going to occur, Capricorn. Something is going to be turned on its head, and the best you can do, because you can't stop it, you can't avoid it, is to be ready for it to happen and be graceful, be poised, be adaptable, be practical. Make the moves and the decisions and the steps that need to be made in order to keep moving forward in spite of this. When the dust settles, I said all of this for Sagittarius with their Tower. When the dust settles, figure out everything you have left and figure out what you can still do with it and do the best you can to move forward. Grace, poise, practicality and courage and actually doing the things that need to be done. You need to trust in yourself that you have all of the skill and the knowledge to navigate whatever is thrown at you. That said, the rune of Wunjo, the joy rune, the light rune, says that there will be some sort of new knowledge or understanding that will come to you or has come to you that is going to help. It's going to put everything in this new light to help you understand the situation and better navigate it. And this tower is probably not going to hit as hard as you might be concerned about now, because this knowledge is going to help you figure out, we really needed this and we can do this. You will find new clarity and new energy, and you might find it best to shift your plan, ambition, or goal from what it currently is to something new, because you might realize that what you initially were striving for was never meant for you, or just isn't really actually what you ever wanted, and there might be some different but connected goal that you can shift course to, something along those lines. But just keep holding on to your courage, your practicality, and be as balanced as you can in how you take care of yourself and in how you navigate things moving forward. Aquarius has pulled Grace as the bottom card, your main spread, the inverted fire kitten, the inverted world, and the inverted 10 of sea. Your rune is Algies, the rune of protection, sedge, or elk. Like with several of our other readings, your rune and your main theme card go hand in hand here. Grace is the temperance card. It urges you to be balanced and to be adaptable, poised as much as you can as you navigate things in your life right now. The inverted fire kitten says you've maybe been playing a bit too risky with some things, and you need to take a step back from the flame you've been thinking about sticking your paw in. Try to be a little less risky and a little less immature about how you navigate things, and don't encourage others to be too risky or immature in these ways as well. You've been playing too close to the fire. The inverted world says you've been too disconnected and disinterested in things around you, and it is perhaps because you've been holding on to something that really needs to be allowed to run its course. You've been afraid to let go of something, and it really is time to let go of whatever it is. The inverted 10 of sea, similar to the world, you've been too close to somebody around you for too long, and it's causing strain on the relationship. If you're married or in a romantic relationship with someone, you need a bit of time away from that partner, whether it's your wife or your husband, your boyfriend or your girlfriend, whatever that might be. If you have kids, need some time away from the kids. You've all been stuck at home for too long. If you are the child and you're old enough to do so, you need a bit of time away from your parents. Maybe go sleep over at a friend's house, or consider a study abroad, or if you're getting ready to go to college, consider living on campus if that's something that's doable. In some way, some sort of friendship or family relationship needs a break between you and the other party. It's a sort of thing of distance making the heart grow fonder. Often we need time away from those we love in order to just to take a break and to step away from anything that's been bothering us, but also in order to reinvigorate our love and our care for that person and why we love that person. In all things, we need balance, and in relationships, we need balance between time with that person and time away in order to make the best of it. Algies is similarly urging mindful action, mindful conduct, and timeliness in these actions and this conduct in order to truly protect yourself and others from any misunderstanding. I think it is offering protection. I think it is also urging you to do what you can to protect yourself and others from any more harm or pain than is necessary. And part of what can help with that is not being too risky, as the fire kitten says, and letting go of the things that need to be let go of, stepping back from the people we've spent too much time with, and with temperance, being as balanced and adaptable and graceful as we can in how we navigate things. Pisces has drawn for your main theme, the inverted sky tom. On your main spread, you actually had 5 jump out, but we're gonna roll with it. Consequences, the priestess, inverted earth king, 2 of earth, and the emperor. Your rune, like with Capricorn, is Wunjo for joy or light. The inverted sky tile being your main theme and your bottom card indicates that you're starting to realize the effect that your actions or words have had on others, starting to take responsibility for how you've hurt other people. And this is a good thing. This is a very mature thing, and it indicates some needed growth that is occurring for you right now, Pisces. And that's wonderful. With that, consequences being the Justice card urges you to continue reflecting on your actions and your words and how they have affected others and what the consequences of your actions and words are. Not just reflecting on those in the past, but as you move forward, you need to continue considering consequences before you act or speak. Even if you don't do so responsibly, you know what's going to come to you in any case. The Priestess says that it is time to listen to your intuition and your inner voice. Your soul is calling for something and you cannot ignore it any longer. The inverted Earth King indicates that there's some kind of dependency that's been happening or building, and the time has come for you to cut off those who've been dependent on you, because their dependency is hurting both of you at this point. You need to cut these people off, and you need to reestablish some equilibrium in your own life. Cut off the people who've been over dependent on you. Try to let go of your own dependency on others. You need to be able to rely on yourself. And if you've taken on too many tasks and said yes to too many things, you need to let go of some of those things, at least for a time, until you've sorted out other stuff. Human beings can't actually multitask the way we mean to. You need to make sure you're not focusing your mind on too many things at once. And the Emperor says that you need to make sure that whatever power you have in any situation, you use wisely. If you need to reach out to other people for support, make sure you wholly trust those that you are asking, and make sure you set and hold firm to your boundaries, even with yourself. The Wunjo rune, as with Capricorn, indicates some sort of new knowledge or new perspective that with it is going to bring a new light to things, new energy and clarity that may help you reassess your current goals and ambitions, and perhaps even find new ones to follow in lieu of what you previously had. All of this to say, you're on an amazing journey of growth and maturation right now, Pisces, and if you handle this road responsibly and listen to your intuition and listen to your heart and your soul, take care of yourself as you make decisions and act responsibly, this road will only continue toward your betterment. Our final reading this season is Aries, who has pulled for the main theme, the inverted 5 of Sky, and your main spread is inverted Strength, Sky Kitten, and the inverted 4 of Sky. Your rune is Wunjo, for joy or light. I'm getting a sense something has happened to you recently that I think was partly your own doing, but you have been latching on to how others were involved and how others affected you, and you've been playing the victim. 5 of Sky, when inverted, says that you are reeling something negative that happened to you recently, and you're trying to deal with all of the emotion and the thought that comes with, the aftermath of that, but you've been latching on too much to things that have hurt you or wronged you, and creating an identity for yourself through only the trauma and the pain that you've experienced and the things that have been done to you. And that's not a way to live. That's not a way to build yourself and build your identity and put yourself into the world. Inverted Strength, similarly, is telling you to stop pushing this narrative that the things that happened were out of your control and you had no say in it. You did. You had some hand in it, and you need to take responsibility for your influence on the situation, what you did, what you could have done, what you didn't do. And you need to stop making excuses for yourself, and you also need to know that you are strong enough to overcome any obstacle that life throws at you. Sitting here saying, woe is me, the world, has wronged me so, doesn't get anything done. It's just a pity party for one, where you're wallowing in how you've been wronged rather than making the effort to pick up what you have and make some right for yourself and for others. You're starting to get on the right track though. Sky Kitten recognizes that you're starting to imagine your life the way it should be and how you want want it to be. Now you need to start making the effort of manifesting your life the way it should be. And part of that is going to be being a responsible and mature person when things go wrong, accepting the fault you have in the situation, apologizing to others you've hurt, and confronting people who hurt you maturely rather than this is all your fault every single time something goes wrong to other people. Don't let things that are unknown or uncomfortable stop you. Be aware of the consequences and the risks, but don't let those things stop you from continuing to work forward toward your goals. The inverted Four of Sky warns you against withdrawing too much from the world and from people around you. If you isolate yourself too much, you can end up causing bigger problems for yourself. Things aren't just going to get better on their own without any, influence from you. You need to actually do things to change your life for yourself. Wunjo, like with the other readings that have pulled this rune, it is a rune of joy and light, but it also indicates some sort of new perspective or knowledge about your situation that's going to refresh your energy and bring you new clarity, and maybe even cause you to shift your goals a little bit because you realize that what you've been after is not quite the right end and something else is going to be the better option for you. So pick yourself up, find a new, more mature perspective on life and on everything that has happened to you and everything that has happened around you. Be a responsible person who recognizes your own influence on the experiences that you have and the things that happen in the world, and start actually working forward toward your goals rather than just complaining when things don't go your way, putting blame on other people, and sitting around waiting for things to change without your influence. With Aries complete, that makes our 12 Western Zodiac horoscope tarot readings for the season of Beltane. I do hope you have found much needed guidance for your own life in at least one of the readings herein. Remember to take what resonates and leave the rest. And I hope you have a wonderful Beltane season of fertility and growth and warmth. And I will see you all again for more tarot at midsummer. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, you know all the buttons and links to find below. You've been on YouTube and the internet long enough, I imagine. So please do so and let me know what you liked about this video and any feedback you have. If you want more tarot or witchcraft related content, I have 2 different playlists linked below and in the cards. One of all of the tarot readings I have done thus far here on my channel, and one of my DIY projects, several of which have been wreaths for each of the different pagan Sabbats. So if you'd like some ideas about how to decorate for or celebrate Beltane this year, you can check out my video where I made a wreath for Beltane. Special thanks and shout out to my wonderful coven of patrons. They are the ones who help make these videos continue to be possible and help me be able to work toward making a living doing content and making costumes and doing all of the things that I love. So thank you so much for that. If you would like to join their ranks and become part of the Patreon coven, the link is below in the link tree, as it always is. Stay tuned for my Alice Pestle build series, as well as a vlog from the inaugural Pelicon in New Roads, Louisiana, and I will see you all again very soon. Keep aiming, my loves. Mwah!